will pick everything up, and if there's anyone this early in the morning watching us online, we want to welcome you too on this rainy day. We will have approval of our committee meetings minutes for November the 4th. Is there any objection to approving the minutes as presented? Okay, hearing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. Is there any objection to approving the agenda as presented to us? Hearing none, the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. At this time, we would usually have public comment, but I understand that we do not have anyone with us today, and can certainly understand with the weather as it is that people do not want to get out this early today. So we will move now to our first committee item for approval, the request of approval of local school board meetings live stream policy. And we welcome this morning Todd Atwater, who is our general counsel. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Merry Christmas. We're talking about the live stream policy that the districts have submitted. I want to thank the districts publicly because they've put a little bit of work into this, and I want to thank Ms. Seegers, who you'll meet later. She is the new addition to our attorney staff. She and I went through the 65 policies you have before you. And before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to Ms. Blackburn Hines. She's not here today, but I know she's watching live stream, and I know you can't make a dog meow, but you can't keep Rebecca away from this meeting.
Not at all,
so,
not at all. I was going to mention that later on because I know that she's viewing and she's probably texting.
She probably is, but please do mention it again. Before you have 65 submissions for considerations. There are some outstanding submissions. There was some mix-up between some of the districts believing that January 1 was the deadline, which is in the statute, versus what we had put as a policy deadline. So they'll be coming in, and we'll consider the rest of them in January, if that's okay. Just as a recap, this requirement of the model policy is applicable to all districts. It covers all meetings or parts of meetings subject to the South Carolina Freedom of Information Act. The districts must comply with the model policy you, the board, adopted on August 5th. The districts may exceed these requirements, the ones you laid out, but may not do less than the board policy requires. A couple of examples would be they could adopt a policy of posting any videos of the meetings within 24 hours as opposed to 2 days. None have done that, but they could. Or they could include closed captioning, which is not required by the model policy, and a number of them have. Penalties for violation of the statute is not to exceed 1% of the state funds to the district. The State Board of Education may allow up to an additional 12 months to comply if the governing body shows evidence of limited or no broadband access at the district office, not geographically or for residents, but at their district office. Today, we recommend to you to extract Anderson 1, Pickens, and the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities for resubmission. They simply did not comply adequately. They did make a submission. We'll be working with them. They are not that far off, but they aren't close enough to be making the policy. That you approve the remaining submitted policies, which is 61, and not approve the waivers for the districts that have indicated access to broadband internet at their respective district offices, which is the waiver request from Spartanburg 3.
Would you, just for the record, explain again about the waivers for the district office?
Yes, ma'am. Happy to. Spartanburg 3 submitted a waiver, basically making the request for 12 months. But the basis of it was that some of their constituents out in the further reaches of Spartanburg 3 might not have access to broadband or the internet. That was not the intent of the legislation. It was the intent that the district office have it. It doesn't prevent someone from coming to a meeting. It doesn't prevent them from getting access in other ways. That's why there's the 2-day post notice and other reasons. They've simply gotten it upside down, believing that, and I think for, honest belief that they were trying to reach out to all the people that might want to see it as opposed to them having the capability to see it. And they admit that in their waiver that they do have access to the internet at their district office. So that would be grounds for a denial of this waiver. And they can resubmit for January. They won't be out of compliance.
So we're looking at 61 who do have
Yes,
that at their district office. The others that you began with, Anderson 1, do not?
No, they simply, their policies that they submitted do not comply with the model policy that you passed in August. So they just haven't reached the level of compliance they need to. One, for example, went into a deep level of FOIA. That was not the purpose of this.
Right.
And so I think somebody stopped typing and they submitted it. I'm not making fun of anyone, but that's just the likelihood of what's happened. There's an honest attempt by each of those 3 districts. We just need to reach out and say, here's where you're missing one part or another. And all 3 of them are different.
Will you give us those 3 districts again?
Yes, ma'am. It's Anderson 1, Pickens, and the Governor's School for Arts and Humanities.
I also had some folks that called, and they seemed to, I had not read that as thoroughly as I went back and read it after I got these phone calls. They seemed to think that, based on the statute, that they should move their meetings to a school or to another place if their district office was not accessible or had the means of streaming. I didn't read it that way.
No.
That's
Right. If it wasn't for statutory interpretation, lawyers wouldn't have jobs.
okay.
Okay. So they've we advise them, please just give us a call. We're happy to walk them through it. Glad they called you. They reached out to you. You can refer them to us, but you're right. It wasn't
It was not
anything-
the intention
No, ma'am.
to.
No, I mean, if they want to, just as I don't know
Well,
why, but if they want to,
And
they
I
can.
know
but-
some districts in my area move around their board meetings. They don't always do them at the district office. They do different schools. And, I think that's where they were coming from.
Probably so.
But my understanding, that was not a requirement. That's not the way.
No, not at all.
They
Not
seem to think-
contemplated in this
Okay.
law. Yes,
Yeah.
correct. And I applaud them for trying to reach out to their, the parents and students and constituents of their area. But as long as they have internet access where they're going, but they can't leave and say, oh, we want to go to, I'll
Yeah.
use Irmo. I can't go to Irmo because and
Yeah.
have it, but they don't have internet. Therefore, we get a waiver. That doesn't work. It's their district office.
I do have one question.
Yes, sir.
So the charter school, the
Yes.
providers, their board meetings are live streamed.
Correct.
As well as the school board meetings?
Yes. Yes,
Now, who reviews their policy? So does the school have to have a policy how does that work?
That is left to the various districts, either the Charter Institute at Erskine, Limestone, or the public charter school district. We did wrestle with this a little bit, so thank you for making that point. Each school should have a policy, and I believe they are requiring that, but the districts themselves have submitted, as you'll see, the CIE, Erskine, and the public charter district have submitted their policies and making sure, and we have put that onto them, just like a district might do to a school within their district, that they have to be compliant with their policies. And their policies are compliant with ours, so they would be in compliance. Yeah. But we didn't want to, 58 plus extra charter schools, each doing it that way, that wasn't a very good use of your time.
So the
Authorize.
the authorizer is the one who
Correct.
is responsible
Yes.
for making sure the schools have their compliance.
Exactly. Each charter has compliant. The authorizer is the LEA, which is the school district. It's the equivalent. Yes, sir.
Further questions? Further comments? If not, is there a motion to, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, would it help if I read the recommendations again?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I think so.
Thank you. We would recommend that you extract Anderson 1, Pickens, and the Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities for resubmission, that you approve the remaining 61 submitted policies and not approve the waiver for Spartanburg 3.
Okay. You have heard them for a second time. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we extract Anderson 1, Pickens, and the Governor's School for the Arts from consideration. We approve the remaining districts' policies, and then that would be 61 districts, and then is this Spartanburg 3?
Yes, sir.
We deny that waiver.
Correct.
Is there a second?
Creminger, second.
Crimminer, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
There
Merry
is no
Christmas.
items for information. Is there a motion to place items for approval on the consent agenda?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we place this motion or this item on the consent agenda.
And is there a second?
Johnson, second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? The motion carries. Is there any other business to bring before this committee this morning? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Creminger, motion to adjourn.
Second?
Johnson, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? We stand adjourned.